Hello, students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We are continuing our ancient history series by looking at the First Empire. Don't forget that there's a link for a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize for any mispronunciations ahead of time. I do my best. As Sumerian kings struggled for power, fighting between city-states was common. Years of frequent fighting made Sumerian city-states grow weaker. This eventually led to the conquest of all of Sumer. The conquest of Sumer, the Akkadian people also lived in Mesopotamia to the northwest of Sumer. In the 2300s BCE, an Akkadian king named Sargon the Great became the king of Kish, a Sumerian city-state. In time, Sargon conquered many other Mesopotamian city-states. He united them under his rule to create the world's first empire. The Akkadians had their own language and customs, but they did share some cultural traits with the Sumerians. For example, the Akkadians and Sumerians had similar religious practices, and both societies used the cuneiform system of writing. Once Sargon died, his empire broke apart. The next ruler to unite city-states under one empire was Ur-Nammu, who set up the first known law code in Ur. However, this rule was also temporary. Once again, the Sumerian city-states fought over power. The Babylonian Empire. Around 1792 BCE, a man named Hammurabi became king of a Sumerian city called Babylon. Over 30 years, he built up his power. Then, he set out to conquer other Mesopotamian city-states. Within a few years, he had united southern Mesopotamia into what we now call the Old Babylonian Empire. Hammurabi created a strong government to hold his empire together. He sent his own governors, tax collectors, and judges to distant cities within the empire. He was the first ruler to try to unite an empire under one written set of law, known today as Hammurabi's Code. It established the rule of law, or the idea that all members of a society must obey the law. This idea is a key part of modern democratic principles. From Hammurabi's Code, we know a lot about life in ancient Mesopotamia. For example, we know that most people were farmers and life revolved around agriculture. In the cities, people used new technology to make tools, weapons, and other goods. Artists also made jewelry and sculptures. Trade took place all throughout the empire and with other lands. And now, the nutshell. Sumerian city-states were like siblings fighting over who got the last cookie, except their cookies were cities, and the fights lasted centuries. All that bickering left them too weak to resist a takeover. Enter Sargon the Great, an Akkadian king who decided he'd had enough of the drama and created the world's first empire by uniting the region. Briefly. After his empire crumbled like a poorly baked loaf of barley bread, Ur-Nammu tried the empire thing again and even wrote the first known law code, but that didn't last either. Then came Hammurabi, who not only conquered Mesopotamia like a boss, but also laid down the law literally with Hammurabi's Code. His empire was better organized than a modern tax office, and thanks to him, we know ancient Mesopotamians farmed, crafted, traded, and definitely didn't mess around with justice. There you have it, folks. That is the First Empire's Nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Go nuts and like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time on Nutshelled History.